Ooh, I felt that.
Especially when you were going around a little, I was like, ooh.
I know, I felt a lot going on in my body. Like
hello, spirit guides, ancestors.
Wow,
they are here.
I don't know how I was going to feel anything. Like, I feel like something just jumped into my soul. Jesus Christ. Holy moly. Okay. Woo. I didn't even need a shot. That was just like, girl, I was not ready for all that. I didn't know what was going on, but you guys definitely had me in the Twilight Zone for real. Hey guys, thanks for joining us again. So today we have our first guest ever. Woo, 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 woo. Yes, so today we're talking about spirituality. I will let her take the floor and give you guys a little bit of information on what exactly she does.
Okay. Thank you guys, first of all, for having me.
Our
first guest.
I know, I'm so excited today. Like, yes. It's not just the two of us. Like,
yes.
Yeah.
We have a third face.
We're a throuple now.
Yeah, we're a throuple.
I love it. So, my name is Yahan. For those of you that don't know, I basically this year kind of started my spiritual journey. I started getting into tarot. I've always been into astrology since like junior high, but now I've just kind of broadened my spiritual journey, getting into spirit guides, ancestors, and yeah, so I'm just here to share about that.
And I'm so excited because I'm obsessed with this stuff too. Anyone who knows me knows I'm obsessed. I'll pretend like I'm not, but I am. Yeah, so tell us a bit more about yourself in terms of like, what is your sign? What got you started onto your little spiritual journey?
So I am a Sagittarius, just like Moret over here. And, you know, Sages get a really bad rep.
They do. I'm scared of Sages.
Yeah.
Like, I'm scared to date one. And they're one of my best matches, and I'm, like, terrified. Because I'm an Aquarius, and supposedly Sag is, like, one of our top 3, and I'm like, ooh, I don't know
Depends
about
on the Sag.
Yeah. I will say, and when I say, like, Sages get a bad rep, it's the Sag men. Like, Sag men are the devils of the zodiac. Let's just put that out there. but I will say, I'll be the devil's advocate here, is, like, you always want, like, there's always an evolved sign. Like,
that's true.
You can have Sages that aren't as evolved and that do a bunch of fuck shit. Am I allowed to swear?
Of course.
Okay.
Say whatever you want, girl.
Every second word is a swear word out of my mouth. So you're okay.
That just do terrible
Unfiltered.
Shit. Perfect. Just the way Sag likes it.
Yes.
But yeah, so you have your unevolved and then you have an evolved Sag, and that goes for any sign. So when people say like Sages are absolutely terrible, I'm like, okay, but are they evolved or are they unevolved?
So I know Sages are supposed to be like super passionate. That's one of the things. And I feel like that passion leads them either astray or good. So it's like, that's what you're kind of talking about?
I think to me, like in plain terms, it's like, are you aware of your toxicity and how do you handle it?
Okay.
Because
makes sense.
Yeah, like every single person, everyone with their birth charts, with their signs, like we all have a level of toxicity. Like, let's be real, nobody is perfect.
No.
But it's how you handle it and how you apply it to the relationships in your everyday life, whether it be boyfriend, girlfriend, family, friends, and
girlfriend, boyfriend,
exactly. Yeah.
Whatever.
Situationship.
Yeah.
Yep.
Entanglement. Your mistress. You know, those things. Okay. So we know that it's Sag season. Mm-hmm. What does that mean fully?
Well, Sag season, it is from, and I hope I'm getting this right, I believe it's November 23rd until December 22nd.
Okay.
I might be a day off, but yes, those people that fall under those days, it is our season.
It's their birthday season.
Exactly. And now, I'm not by any way means an astrologer, but I know that this Sagittarius season in particular is it's a tough one. There's a bunch of eclipses, which basically means like certain times can go a little bit left. You know, I think this year 2020 has taught us a lot.
Amen to that.
Definitely.
Yeah, 2020 has been,
Yeah.
to me, has been the year of truth. Like, a lot has been unveiled, a lot has been revealed, and now as we near the end of the year, especially for Sagittarius, I feel like there's been a lot of like self-reflection and like looking inside, and this is where we go from that evolved. So the ones that are evolving, the ones that are actually on that path to evolving into the next level here, like, it's definitely a lot of self-reflection that's gone on.
I can see that. And I remember, because I talked to this one woman who kind of does readings too, and she was saying that this is like the first time really in history that everyone's kind of going through something similar.
Yeah.
So we're all kind of similarly going on the same path. Like, obviously we're not going always to the same direction, but we're all kind of going through some type of process, revolution, whatever it is, to some degree. Because this COVID thing is crazy.
Yeah, COVID definitely brought out the truth. Like,
Right?
literally, I feel like everyone has just been like stripped of their identities, and people are like, "Who am I now?"
Yeah, because
like,
you actually have the time to like take in, especially because a lot of people are home for work, and you're not like, we're not busy all the time. We don't have so much stuff to do, whatever. So you're kind of at home chilling, and you're like, "Oh, why am I like this?" So
Yep.
I think you really got to reflect on a lot of things. Like, I think for me, I really got to like kind of like just reflect on things that have been happening over the last couple of years. And I mean, with relationships, friendships, just kind of like going over scenarios and really like seeing like, I don't know, especially for like our specific sign, and it ties back with like the evolving and like unevolved and evolved. Because I feel like for me personally this year, I've evolved so much, and I feel like I've kind of like decided what I want, where I'm going, what I'm willing to accept, and what I'm no longer willing to accept. So for me, it was like a really big year of like reflection, kind of like enlightenment. And I feel like even in some situations, I feel like it was just so intense. I feel like this year, the things that did happen, I feel like there was so much intensity to them, which I've never felt before. But it was freeing. I feel like in that intensity, I feel like I'm so much more freed from a lot of the restraints that I had. Whether they be people, which they were, like I did, have to let go of some people that were very, very important in my life. And I feel like by doing so, I'm just so much more free. I feel so much lighter. I feel like a weight has been lifted that I've been carrying for a very, very long time.
Yeah, no, I get it. Because I'm like, I'm an Aquarius, and we're known to be kind of coldish and whatnot. And I felt like this year was the first year where I actually kind of took in all my emotions, like actually let them settle before where I kind of just brushed them off. So I think that helped me grow a lot, because I'm a better communicator now because of that. My friends, if they saw me, like, asking them now from what I was last year, like, I'm a whole different person. Because before, anything I'd go through, I just kept it to myself.
Right.
I don't think I've cried ever as much as I have within this last year.
Yeah.
Like, and coming from me, that's huge. So
Yep, I believe that.
There's a lot of astrologers that predicted the rise and fall of 2020 with like COVID, and one of the key things that I've heard was like 2020 was like the year of destruction. So like everything is literally being brought down to ground zero. And then 2021, we're all looking forward to it, where it's like, it's going to be easy. It's not going to be easy, because now this is the time to build back up. Like, we're officially...
It's like our tower moment.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, the tower is actually a card in a tarot deck. I just had to tie that in there.
Yes, the tarot deck.
So pretty much like break down to build back up, in a sense, for like a lot of people. And I think that's why, like I was saying, super emotional, you're saying you were actually looking in and looking at your relationship, stuff like that. So it's like we've all taken a step back and kind of looked at everything as a whole more than we probably have. Because we actually had time to slow down and actually look at these things. Because before it's like,
good.
we had stuff all the time. Every weekend I had some type of event. Now I'm just sitting at home watching my Netflix. I'm watching Vampire Diaries. Like,
I actually like lived in the moment this year. I feel like I took the slowing down was probably like the best thing that happened this year.
Yeah,
I feel like
so.
I took more pictures. I did more, even though like we were in the middle of a pandemic. Like I feel like I was more present than I think I ever have been. You know, it was probably one of the best things about this year, like slowing down. I feel like it really made me appreciate so many things that I took for granted for so long. And it kind of like really opened my eyes about just like the life that I was living before, and it's always been like go, work.
Yeah.
It was never like there was never a work-life balance, and I think I was aware of that before, but this year really like reiterated that we do not have a work-life balance, period. Like
we don't.
Everybody is just constantly go, and I think it's just that we live in like a society where it's like if you're not working, you're not doing enough. If you're not working, you're lazy. Like. And so being in that kind of like constant go, we just forget to like live and just live in the moment and enjoy those moments.
No, it's true. And I think that's why a lot of people now, I feel like this whole spirituality, astrology has gone up in popularity a lot this year alone.
Oh, it has.
Because I feel like people are trying to understand themselves and all that stuff more. Like even I started seeing a psychiatrist due to stuff that happened at work, whatever, but
Same.
It's just but yeah, so it's like it's a lot about I think 2020 is like personal growth.
Yes.
It's like one of the main themes.
Yeah.
And spirituality helps people see things, and it kind of almost helps make sense of certain things.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to say it's a cop out, because it's not. I don't believe so. I believe in this shit completely. Don't think I'm crazy, but I do. But it's just a better way of understanding. Like we said, that it helped us. Like we evolved a lot, and sometimes with this stuff, it kind of helps us understand and learn more to help us get to that next step, or spiritual awakening.
Yeah.
I mean, I had my first reading by you. And like, I've always been so kind of like apprehensive about spirituality, just because like I come from a very like religious background.
And I was
like
gonna say, Black people in general,
like,
I feel like
exactly
people are
like
spiritual witchcraft.
Exactly, like it's Orthodox Christians, so like in my culture, they believe that this is all like black magic, and if you get a reading, like it might tell you what you want to hear, but then it's gonna change your perspective completely, and like your future is going to change based on everything that you were read. But like when you did the reading, it was like everything that I was going through, like it was spot on. And I was just like, oh my goodness, like I can't believe cards are basically like telling me my life at the moment and like where I'm going next. And it wasn't like you were a fortune teller and you read my future or anything like that. Like you were speaking to like things I hadn't even like told you about. Like it was mind-blowing. And for me, that was when I was like, when I first started saying, like, oh, okay, like, this stuff is real. Like, you know, this stuff can actually, like,
what?
Yeah. Remember how surprised I was? Like, and I was, like, taking notes, and I had, like, people's names associated to the notes, and I'm like, okay, this is what happened this year. And because I wanted to make sure that, like, what you were telling me was, like, you know, and then I remember I told you, I was like, girl, like, what? You were speaking to like my whole life in the last 6 months. Like crazy.
And you know, like just because you brought up the point of like, you know, religion and like how we grew up, like for me, my family, Ghanaian background, of course, you know, and it's so funny because like I have conversations about this with my dad. My dad is a Leo, so like we're best friends. Like you know, we're very close, but he basically told me like, no, like you're you know, this is like all like witchcraft you're practicing and so on and so forth. But and this could be like another topic for another day because this is extensive, but when we talk about the foundation of spirituality, I heard a quote from another spiritual podcast the other day, and she was saying that a lot of Black people gave up their roots when they decided that spirituality was deemed witchcraft. That setting up, setting up an altar, because then it's just like, okay, we want to compare to Christianity. You know, when you get saved, you go to the altar at the church. You know, I don't know if you guys remember, but like back in the day, my mom would watch the Christian channel like all the time.
Oh, like Benny Hinn and like all those, like, all the televangelists.
Yes,
and all their
exactly. And Benny Hinn would literally put his hands on people, and they'd be like,
shaking like, oh,
exactly.
I'm healed. Like,
exactly. And I asked my dad, I was like,
absolutely
so
not.
What is, if this is witchcraft, what is that?
Yeah.
What is that? Like people have to understand, like, it all comes from somewhere. And I personally truly believe that, like, spirituality is like that foundation. It doesn't matter what you believe in, whether you're Christian, whether you're Islamic, whatever the case may be, is still the foundation. Like, we are literally praying to ancestors. We're praying to higher powers, our higher selves. And yeah. I don't know.
No, it's true, because we were, but we were talking about
we were actually just having this conversation.
How Black people are so against this stuff when technically it's like this kind of originated from us.
From us. This is our roots.
What?
Yes.
So I'm like,
it even goes back to slavery, because like Black people had to hide their spirituality and hide this from their slave owners.
Where the hoodoo and voodoo all came from, and that's when it became big, and that's what. When they brought the Christianity, they try to take that away.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
they
the
whitewashed it.
Yeah. So the rebels are the ones that kind of kept to it.
Yeah.
So that's when, like, everyone's like, "Oh, it's witchcraft." I'm like, no, this is actually technically our true deep down spiritual religion, whatever you want to call it.
Our history.
And
the ancestors were practicing it.
Yeah,
Seriously.
and even if you want to call it witchcraft, like, people think like witchcraft has such a bad like connotation to it, like. I'm not talking about like Nigerian movies.
I was gonna say Nollywood. Hey, you talk to me like that, and then the guy turns into a cat.
Those movies, those Nollywood and Gollywood movies, literally, I was so, as a child, I couldn't even fathom going to Ghana because of those movies.
Yeah, because some of them were so scary.
I'm like, not going to Africa.
They're going to turn me into a cat. Like,
exactly. No.
Or the guy's head goes on fire, and it's like the worst graphic, and it's like a big orange crowd.
Yes. No, that's not real witchcraft. But I think for those that are skeptical, like, please know that, like, regardless, there are witches in this world. If witches were like literally out there to cause destruction and so on and so forth, and like win lotteries and whatnot, and just take over the world, they definitely could. Like, not all witchcraft is like rooted in evil.
I think that's like the whole thing with power in general.
Yeah,
it's like anyone who has power, depends what you do with it. Same with money. When you have a lot of money, it depends on what you do with it. So it's like you can have a lot of power, or you can use it for good, bad, balance, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So I guess that's the same thing with that. So it's like not all witches are bad guys. Like,
and there's witches, man. There's witches,
right?
And there's demons.
Oh God! Don't keep me up at night, because anyone who knows me, I am scared of ghosts, spirits, demons. I'm petrified. Scared like a little baby. If I watch anything, I have to watch like cartoons afterwards, because I'm like, hell no. But then the reader I went to the reader, and she said that how I absorb energy a lot, and I can absorb a lot of bad energy. She was saying that's why my job doesn't fit me well in terms of because there's so many different personalities, so much bad energy that I absorb it too much. And she's saying how I had to kind of think of like almost create a shield for myself, like energy shield, where I'm not absorbing other people's energies as much. So I'm like,
you're an empath, like 100%.
Yeah.
So
sucks. Especially because I'm like Aquarius with a Scorpio moon. Like, I heard makes it even worse. I'm like, great.
Yeah.
Great.
And like, that's honestly, like, I have the same issue too, to the point where like I literally get drained. Like, so drained.
I feel like I do get drained sometimes. Yeah.
And the thing is I was told by like a mentor of mine that whenever you're entering spaces like that, for me personally, I just replay in my mind, like, this is not my energy. This is not my energy. This is not my energy. Smart. Just to like remind myself that like, this has nothing to do with me. It's not my energy.
I need to start doing that.
I need to start that, girl.
Yeah.
Especially the people that I come across at work.
People's problems. I'm like,
I get like a shield. Like,
seriously. Okay. So I want to play around with
Can you introduce these and give us a little bit of background?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, so these are all available except for this deck on Amazon. So
links in bio.
Yeah,
link will be in the bio.
So yeah, these are just moon cards. This is like an oracle deck. So for me personally, and mind you, readers, especially that you see on like YouTube and like individual readers, they everyone uses their deck for whatever reason. Like, some will literally just do full reads with this deck. I personally like to use this read for like an overall message that ties the tarot together.
Okay.
And then going into the tarot deck, this is the Modern Witch deck, and I'm going to show you guys the actual box. So I love this deck.
I know, I've been seeing it online
so
all the time,
pretty.
and I'm so excited with all the little black.
Yeah.
Very cool. I like it because it's just like so pro black in here.
Love it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Black
wow.
on black on black,
Black
on
on
black
black.
on black.
You know, we're all, here's that tower card that we were talking about.
Oh, wow, perfect.
You see? Very interesting. And then lastly is the Island Time Wellness. I love these cards so much. These are clarifier cards. So I'll be using those in a small collective reading for you guys. So basically, should I start? Should I just do the reading?
Yeah, girl.
Okay.
Do your thing.
Okay, cool. Well, so basically, if you are watching, maybe listening to, like if you're listening on Spotify or whatever,
We do have
but
listeners.
Yes.
whoever is watching or listening, this message might be for you. If it's not, just leave it. Don't overthink it. Don't try to make it fit your story. Just take what resonates and leave what doesn't.
I'm excited.
So excited.
I'm single, ready to mingle. Hopefully there's something in here for me.
Yes, I need to hear all the Sag stuff.
Right?
Girl.
Okay.
So excited.
I know, me too.
I'm so
See,
excited.
watching the cards, I'm like watching them with like intensity.
Oh my god, mine was so accurate last time. I was just like, I was mind blown. So I'm here for it.
Right.
I need to hear
a
it.
personal reading after this.
Yes.
Guys, sorry.
Seriously.
Sorry. Okay, so Surrender to the Divine. I feel like this card is so interesting because we were literally just talking
about that.
about that. So, like, we mentioned how pretty much 2020 was like the tower moment. Like, everything was like was just torn down. And I feel like this is realistically Spirit saying, like, now's the time. In order for you to build back up, you really need to embrace it and look inside yourself. Because I don't know about y'all, but for me, God, and you read the Bible, it's in it too, so come for me if you want to, but God is within me. The kingdom of God is within me. So how I find that is by surrendering to it and surrendering to myself, looking at the ugly truth and figuring out what I've learned from situations and how I can improve moving forward.
Ooh.
So,
Right? And it's like so crazy that we were literally just...
Yeah,
that
I
was
know.
our
That's
main-
we were just talking about that. I mean, it's so fitting. I love this.
I know. I'm like, my leg is shaking because I'm so
Oh.
excited.
Yeah. Like,
okay. So, let's get into... This is like the first time I've done tarot on screen, so bear with me, y'all. Bear with me.
and it's here. You saw it
Yeah,
first.
Right? When she becomes big and famous,
Yes, when
remember
she
us,
becomes
okay?
like so famous that we can't even call her anymore. This is
This is
where
where
it
she started.
This is where it started. We believed in her. You know me. Of course I did. Girl, from that first reading, I was like, oh, you are
Right.
just speaking too much of the truth right now. Like, these cards are just a window to my soul at the moment. Like, it's crazy.
Window to your soul.
Serious? No, like,
So dramatic.
but it was. Like, I was just like, how are you even telling me this? Like, how do you know this? I haven't even shared this with you.
I
This
know,
is
those
crazy.
ones are crazy.
Yeah, like, there was so much that I hadn't got to update her on.
Yeah.
And it came out in the cards. I was just like, what?
I know, no, sometimes it's messed
Yeah,
up.
that's when I became a
remember,
believer.
like, when I was younger, my friend took me to this one, and at this time I didn't even really believe it, but she was like a teacup reader.
Oh.
And like she was naming
Oh.
things that like about my mother's situation even.
Yeah.
And she'd be like, okay, everything, she did it by numbers, so she'd be like, okay, it's gonna happen in three days, 3 weeks, or 3 months.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it was so crazy because she said that my mom's gonna get, like, there was a situation going on with my mom with her ex-husband, and she's like, she's gonna get news either in 2 weeks, 2 months or 2 days, whatever. And literally 2 weeks on the day, she got a phone call with the updated news. I was like, this is, I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
And then I'm like,
happened.
So, okay.
Okay.
That's okay.
Perfect.
Sidetrack.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's go.
So, the first card here is this Queen of Cups. Okay. So, for the collective, right off the bat, I feel like if maybe you're not in a relationship, maybe you are, but I feel like you're definitely dealing with an earth sign or maybe even a water sign. There's definitely lots of earth energy here with the pentacles, 2 pentacle cards there. So first things first, I feel like right now, and again, it's like right on theme, it's been a lot of like taking stock. So just assessing the inventory. You know, this, I feel like there has definitely been a lot of self-reflection going on, and good for you. There should be. Now, that next step for you is to literally put your money where your mouth is. Go and like go out for it. Go do it. If you've been talking about starting a business, or if you've been talking about asking someone to marry you or buying a ring or whatever the case may be, just taking a step, I feel like this is the time to do it, because you whatever's been on your mind or whatever you've kind of just been reflecting on, you've reflected enough. Like, now's the time to actually make that move. Like
stop talking and start walking.
Exactly.
Time to walk the walk.
Yeah. Yeah, with the I mean, like, I know this is supposed to be like a love reading, but I feel like just based on what I'm getting, I don't really feel like it's the main focus right now. And I feel like if it is a focus, I feel like you're almost forcing it. I may not be speaking to everyone, but I know I'm speaking to somebody. Don't force it. If it's not where you want to be, I feel like you're looking at other people and you're seeing, oh my gosh, like, they're in this situation, or oh my god, or you're checking Twitter and you're like, oh my god, another couple just got engaged and I'm feeling a type of way. No, resort back to your own lane. Resort back to your own path. I literally tweeted this yesterday, tunnel vision. Forget what's going on around you and focus on your tunnel vision.
So saying I had to stop looking at somebody's Sun and Me pages.
Yeah.
And those Black Love pages make me feel all lonely.
Yeah.
Just don't look at them every day. Like, slow it down.
Slow it down.
Like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. Pull yourself out of that.
Yeah.
And don't let what you've seen influence the decisions of like, or influence what you're reflecting on. So if you're like, oh, like for instance, if you're a guy watching this and your homeboy just proposed to his girl and you've been dating a girl for like, 5 months, maybe a year, something like that, and you're like, damn, I should propose to her too. This is not a pissing contest. Stick to your own lane. I feel like there's definitely someone out there that's just like so heavily influenced by their circle.
It's like all
that
your friends are getting engaged.
Yeah,
and you're just
take your time.
Yeah,
and
take
do
your
it.
time. If your friends are getting in relationships, or if your friends are, I don't know, if they're just stick to your own lane. That's like the main
focus
message.
on yourself.
Yeah. Hence, surrender to the divine. Surrender to yourself. Let's just get some clarifiers. Ooh. Okay.
Ooh.
It's hard because these are also love messages. So interesting. Yeah, it's funny. So keys on a ring, it says there are many options. There's a decision, unconventional, string along, one night stand. Someone reading too much into an interaction with someone and thinking it could be more when it's not supposed to. Maybe you think that what you've been reflecting and like overthinking about is you could think that this person is your soulmate. To be honest with you, it's funny, the golden mirror, which is like hella narcissism here. It says self-absorbed, narcissist, one-sided relationship, love bombing.
My ex in a nutshell. Who was also a Sagittarius.
Mine too.
Who was a Sagittarius. My like last serious relationship.
Make me fear Sagittarius again. Thank you.
Yeah, just don't date.
It was not
Yeah,
good. I mean, when it was good, which was most of the relationship. It was great. It was good. We were like in a very good place. But once it took a turn for the worst, it was the worst. Like,
yeah.
I mean, and I think that's the problem with, like, I guess, like, the Sagittarius sign in general. I mean, like, maybe because at the time that we were together, we both weren't evolved Sagittariuses. Like, we were both still very stubborn. I was not narcissistic. He was very narcissistic, but I feel like maybe
impulsive.
I think so. I think we were both impulsive. I think the problem was we were too similar in our best characteristics and our worst characteristics, and I think that's why there was turmoil when there was, and it just didn't end up going any further.
The problem is, though, like, just two things on that is, one, and I've had to swallow this, and this is a huge pill for me to swallow. We are all a little bit narcissistic. Like, it doesn't matter.
That makes sense, because if you think about it, we're never thinking about the world in other people's views. We're always thinking in our point of view. Like, we don't think about other people at all.
Yeah.
At
like,
any point.
At all. And, like,
I don't know if I agree with myself.
I mean,
I think in general. Yeah. Because when you're, like, doing your day-to-day, you're not considering other people, what other people are going through. You're just thinking about what's happening to you. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you might be like, okay, my friend's going through something, I wonder how she's feeling. But in terms of, like, how we view the world, it's very one-sided. Like, even now, if I'm watching the video, I'm not thinking about, like, oh, does Marat think she looks good? I'm like, oh,
you're
do I look good?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, exactly. So it's like, in general, I think we all definitely think about ourselves more, like, not in terms of, like, extreme, where it's like, oh, forget any, there are extreme people out there, and probably I'm friends with a few of them, but there are extremes out there, but I think everyone in general, I think we all have a little bit of it in ourselves.
We definitely do. And, like, the dynamic with, like, dating your same sign, I will say, is definite. If you haven't done it, I highly recommend you should. Because especially if you're on the path of growth, and the reason why, ironically, this golden mirror, okay, you really get a reflection of yourself from that person that you may not even be aware of. Yes. They're like, when I look at, like, my ex and I'm like, okay, like, we're the same sign, and, like, we have different upbringings, we grew up in different environments, and certain things that he would say and he would do, I'd be so, like, irked. And then, like, I'd take myself away from the equation and then be like, but wait, like, I've done that before. Or, like, I've acted like that before, too, in some degree. And it's almost like dating your same sign really exemplifies, like, or really amplifies certain traits in you that you may not be aware of. You know?
That makes sense.
Like, it's literally like looking in the mirror. So, you have it. I mean, it's hectic AF.
Especially if you're a Sag.
Hectic.
Because I did an Aquarius for years. Like, my longest relationship of, like, 8 years was with the Aquarius. And it actually wasn't bad, except for he was super sneaky and a sociopath. But other than that,
it wasn't bad.
It wasn't that bad, but a sociopath. Like, I mean, that sounds pretty bad.
Like, he was a good liar. I'm like, am I that good at lying? I don't like to lie. That's the funny thing. Is, like, me personally, like, I'd rather just be honest. I don't like that. But him, it was like a whole different story. Like, he was so good at hiding everything. And I guess that kind of did make me realize that I do hold on to a lot of things without expressing it. I just try to be more honest about it compared to him. But the one I think that taught me the most was my, like, probably complete opposite sign almost, which was a Pisces, because they're super emotional, and it did not work because of that for the most part. I could not deal. But that did teach me to be more in tune with my feelings and other people's feelings. Like, that made me more mindful of other people. Because a lot of the times, like, if I could not relate to you, I didn't understand. Like, how, like, why are you acting like this? I don't get it. But then it started making me realize, like, okay, obviously not everyone's like me, and I need to start looking at other people and saying why they feel this way and kind of do that. And my best friend's a Pisces as well, so that taught me as well. So I feel like that one probably taught me the most, because it taught me where I was lacking. Compared to, I think Aquarius in general, I think we are kind of self-aware for the most part. So I feel like dating my own side didn't really teach me too much, because a lot of things I saw in him I knew myself. But I think dating the opposite is what really
amplified it for you.
Like showed me like, bitch, you need to work on this shit. Like,
yeah.
Your communication, your non-emotional self, you need to work on that. So
I will say too, like when you mentioned your Pisces, I just have to like put this out there.
Pisces, never forget.
I'm gonna put this guy on blast.
Do not do it. Sorry.
Like, don't.
The insecurity, if uninvolved, insecurity is huge.
Really? At least for men. I'm not talking about Pisces women, but
like men, when they're uninvolved.
Yeah, I dated a Pisces like years and years and years ago, and I remember like this is when I wasn't evolved. Like I was just notorious for just like being really cold. Like if I didn't want to talk to you anymore, if I didn't want to see you, like I just wouldn't respond to your messages. So and like obviously like he got upset and I was just like, oh, like whatever, like my bad, like I don't want to talk anymore. And so then fast forward to, I think this happened maybe 2 years ago. Okay, everything was over text, mind you, with me not speaking to him. And I'm walking through the Eden Center in Toronto, and I'm in H&M, and just to give you guys the visual, you know the main floor of H&M where the homeware is and all that? Okay, so generally there's usually a security guard standing there.
Right at the door.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so, and mind you, Perkins is his real name. Perkins is he was a bigger guy. That's his real name.
You're just putting him on blast.
Yeah, I'll put you on blast.
Perkins,
I'll put you on yes. So he was a big dude, and like, you know, I don't care. Like I like my men thick. Like that's fine. But he was huge when we were dating, and it was like 2 years later, I like see this guy, and like he looks so familiar, and I was like, oh, and he like lost so much weight.
So he looks
so much weight. He looks so different, you know, like light skin, beard. Like I was like, okay,
yeah,
hello, okay. So I'm like, hey, like you look really good, and he was like, you don't, and I was like,
oh my god, my mouth just dropped.
I was like, where did this energy, like I haven't spoken to you in 2 years, and he was like, yeah, I know I look good, you don't, like he, like how, literally like you don't, in his security outfit, we're at H&M, I'm like, okay, anyways, well, take care.
Close my mouth now, so.
Like, yeah, I'm like, take care.
I'm
like,
taking my high back because that's rude.
No, but that's how they are. My ex,
crazy.
like 2 months ago, he randomly decided to unfollow me on Instagram. I'm like, well, it doesn't seem like it. Like he just attacked me. I'm like, bro, we haven't, like, what?
Yo, and to be honest with you, it got crazy to the point where, like, I remember I was, like, walking out, and he was, like, he, like, threatened, I can't remember what he said, but he said something so foul, and I think I was, like, yo, like, just, like, get out of my face or whatever, and then he was, like, what, are you just gonna spit in my face then? And I was, like, what are you talking about? He goes, I kid you not, I swear.
They argue with themselves.
But I swear to God, this man stood at the doorway and yelled in the Eaton Center, this girl's gonna spit on my face! This girl's gonna you're on the clock! I swear to God, I'm not even lying. I was like,
wow.
What? And I was a stylist at the time, so I was just like, what's going on? Like,
that's
where did this energy?
Why is all that necessary?
Yes,
because they're so emotional. They don't know how to,
and
they don't know how to deal with it.
So immature.
No, they don't know how to deal with it.
And that's
they don't.
2 years.
And then they always do the victim blame. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But the male Pisces, they always do the victim blame. Like they're the ones like, you did them wrong, so you deserve it. Like
that's shocking.
Yeah,
like, I'm shocked.
I'll never. If you're a Sag, just don't fuck with the Pisces man, like, because I'm like he was like plotting on me for 2 years, and I'm like,
he was just waiting for that moment.
Oh, he was waiting.
He was waiting. Yeah,
he was waiting to run into you. Like he was waiting to run into you.
Instagram too, just to keep track on you.
Oh my god,
he was waiting to run into you. That's crazy.
Yeah, he was waiting.
That's too excessive though. Like that's aggressive. Like for no reason. Like
yeah, they're crazy. Like I remember one time, even with my Pisces ex, I was going to bed at like. At this time, I was working the split shift, so I was waking up pretty early because I had to travel to work, whatever. And, like, it was, like, maybe 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning, and I literally had to wake up in 5 hours. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go to bed. Let me ask you a question. I'm like, yeah. are you getting off the phone with me so you can invite somebody over to your house? I'm like, are you fucking kidding? I just
that.
can't.
I hate
I have work in the morning. I'm going to sleep. Like, what?
The hell? No, it was crazy.
No, that's too much.
No, it was crazy. I couldn't deal. And then it started like where I was starting to change myself to make him happy, just to avoid the fights. Not even to like make him happy, but just so that we did not have to fight. Because it's like at one time, oh, why didn't you call me? I'm like, because I was tired. So at that point, then every time after work, I made sure to call him. It was like, it became like homework. Okay, oh, it's 8:05. If I don't call by now, he's going to probably message me saying why I'm avoiding him. So I'd call.
That's not healthy.
Like, it was not.
That's not healthy at all.
At the end, I told him, like, yo, I hate to talk to you. Because he's like, why don't you call me? He's like, because I don't like talking to you. Like, I don't want to see you. I don't like it. So it just...
Message to the signs, to everyone. I feel like with 2020 being the destructive year, if you are insecure, work on your insecurities before you get into a relationship.
Oh my God.
Just save yourself the energy.
Thank you.
If you are insecure, you have no... I mean, we're all insecure to a certain extent. But if you seek validation in other people and that's the only way that you can actually justify your self-worth, stay single.
Yeah, please work on yourself.
Just a little bit longer, just stay single.
You owe it to yourself to take the time to work on yourself. Like, there's nothing more, like, important for you as a person. And the next person that you go into a relationship with, like, they don't need you to project your own insecurities on them 24/7. Like, that's not healthy.
Sagittarius, man, like
Sag men, 100%.
Oh no,
the king of projection.
Oh no.
Oh my God. But also, sorry, to your point about like Aquariuses though, I find Aquarius men are very like aloof, and I find that they're in their own world. Like they're like, if you are in with them, they're kind of like, like I'm giving you the invitation to my world right now. When it's done, then you can't come back.
Oh, that's like that's very... even women. I'm done. If we're done, I'm done. And it's like I'm not emotional about it either. Like I'll go through my process, but after that, it's done. Like if I cut off emotional ties, my emotional ties are done. Like I can talk to you as a regular person, that's fine, whatever, because I don't really hold grudges so much. But if it was emotional and I'm like, okay, no, it cuts off, I'm done. So it's like that's why, and I feel like sometimes it's hard for me to get into relationships because I feel like I do come off as very unemotional, not interested. And I feel like that freaks out a lot of guys because I think some guys are really used to women being super passionate. Like, why haven't you called? And I'm just like, oh, you haven't called me for 3 days? That's okay, because I could have called you.
Exactly. Exactly.
So I think that throws them off a lot, and like they don't think I like them. But for me, it's like, if I tell you I like you, take my word for it. Yeah, because I'm not going to say something I don't mean. But yeah, no.
And then I'm like the opposite of you because I'm like very emotional. Like
after an hour, I love you.
Well, like I mean, I don't know. I'm like a words of affirmation like person. Like, you know, I don't know. I just like, I don't know. I like to be told that. I like people to tell me their feelings, and I think I'm very vocal about how I feel. And I'm like, not just vocal, but like my actions are very like,
See, me, I think it's like my actions don't say always how I feel. And I think it's because I overthink things too much. I think that's why in a relationship, I have to make sure that I'm super comfortable. That way I can allow myself to be vulnerable. Because I feel like that's the hardest step for me to go through when in a relationship. Because like I can want to cuddle you, but I won't, because I'm just like, well, how will he feel? Does he want to cuddle me back? Like,
and I don't even think about that stuff.
No, it's like for me, I can't be vulnerable. Like, and plus, I think my ego's too bad too. So it's like if I got rejected, I'd be like, oh fuck this shit. Like,
have you guys ever heard of like a mental diet before?
No, it's a mental diet.
Mental diet? Okay, so...
Oh gosh, that means I probably have to go through one.
I
just talked about my life and now she's talking about mental diet. It's great.
Like, so, now what do I need to do next?
Like, what now?
I gotta look up my birth chart. I gotta look up this. I gotta find out what time I was born. Now I
gotta buy these cards from Amazon.
I gotta buy these cards. Like
no.
What's a mental diet?
So mental diet, I learned this essentially from, I don't know if you guys have heard about Neville Goddard. I think I've talked to you about Neville Goddard before, but basically, if you just like search him up on YouTube, he has a bunch of lectures, and essentially like, I'm about to like wow you a little bit. It might seem kind of like,
I need this
out in space kind of, but just take what you will from it. So basically, everything is you pushed out. Okay?
Okay.
So if you are literally like feeling like shit one day, if you feel like you look like shit one day, you are going to look like shit to other people.
Okay.
Okay? If you lack certain confidence about yourself, like other people are going to see that. So basically, like Neville kind of touches on points where he was like, you essentially are the god of your reality. So that's why I was like, when I was saying with Aquarius is how they're like, yo, like, welcome to my world, but once you're out type thing. They actually have like that invitation, like, here, you can come in. Mm-hmm. And that's realistically how it should be, is like, you know, you think about our own realities separate, and despite what other people are thinking and like trying to like guess, like, hey, like, oh my god, if I don't do this, are they going to feel this way? Or if I do this, are they going to feel this way? Essentially, you have to realize that, like, as fucked up as this is going to sound, like, they don't have free will in your world, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Do you guys understand that? So, like,
I think so.
For example, okay, me and Marette, okay, I could, you know, invite Marette over, and we're just gonna like have a girls' night and get wine and stuff. And when she comes over, I might be concerned as to like whether or not she's comfortable. Like, maybe I'm thinking in my head, oh my god, like, what if she's not comfortable? What if she's not comfortable? The way that energy is so crazy and so real, I can guarantee you she's probably going to be thinking about that. Like, and that's just how energy works. It's like a play on, she may not say it out loud, but I can guarantee you, like, it would have crossed her mind at one point. It's such a rabbit hole to get into.
I know, because I'm like thinking back in my experience, I'm like, hey, when have I done that?
I would definitely recommend like listening to one lecture, just one lecture from Neville Goddard. He's all over YouTube. And he literally, he basically talks a lot about like manifesting. So essentially, like, the god of your reality, it's all about manifesting. So it's like, you know, if you believe that what's a goal that we have here? If you believe that you're getting a promotion with your work, rather than believing that you will, believe that you already have it. Mm-hmm. So in your world, it's like, I've already got this promotion. I'm already working in the role that I want, and that is my mind frame. So that's a mental diet in terms of anytime you have a negative thought where it's like, oh, this is so hard, or this isn't going my way, you literally have to catch yourself and think, change it. I already have this.
It's kind of like The Secret, I guess, in a sense, a little bit, because I know The Secret says something about, I haven't fully read the book, but I read a little bit, and I know it's just saying that you have to take out the negativity because spirit and the universe doesn't know the difference between a negative and a positive thought.
Exactly.
So you have to like be very fine-tuned to what you're actually thinking and putting out there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. Sorry, that was like such a random tangent, but it's
good. No, it was good. It was good, actually.
It goes on.
It's on par. Yeah, it's on par with like
and everything. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, because I feel like that's the main thing we've been talking about this whole episode is growth and kind of using everything to talk about it. So. No, that's helpful, because we all, like, again, I was arguing with these people on Instagram, like usual. It was, like, something about, like, how 30s and 40-year-olds, why are they dating women so young? Like, it's like, why are you 29, and why do you think you, like, what would be your reason for dating a 19-year-old? Mm-hmm. And a lot of people are like, yeah, because, like, there's not a lot that you can relate on, blah, 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 things like that. And then you had a lot of these, like, little younger women, like 18, 19, saying, no, I'm just as mature as a 29-year-old, and da-da-da-da. And I said, there's no way you are.
Impossible.
Like, you can be mature for your age, you can be mature in general, but there's no way that 10 years from now, you're going to look back and be like, I'm that same person.
Yeah, of course not.
There's no way. Like, no matter how much knowledge you have, there's never... It does not equate to years.
You have life experience. You haven't been able to experience anything.
Yeah, where you are in life.
Exactly, because again, even me, I can say from last year to this year, I've learned so much about myself and other people and how things. I'm like, that's what. Again, I was going back and forth. She's like, I'm old for my age. I know I'm doing better off than other people. I'm like, okay, you may be doing better off, but again, you do not have those life experiences.
Of course not. No.
You cannot say that. Again, I said, come back to me in 10 years and tell me if you agree with what you just said right now.
Exactly.
And there's no way, because when we're early 20s plus 20s, I think you're the most narcissistic of your entire time because you just think you know everything.
Mm-hmm.
23, I thought I was the smartest person. It hasn't changed much. I still think I'm one of the smartest people. But back then, now I'm able to be like, okay, no, there's still more for me to learn. There's still more for me to improve on. Before, I used to think I was just perfect and that was it. But
even life experiences as like a teenager, because even if you feel like at 19 you've experienced a lot, which you could have, like depending on how you were brought up, your upbringing, but still, like what you encounter as a teenager and what you encounter in the world in your 20s as an adult, that's what molds and shapes you. Even in your 30s, some people are discovering themselves and learning those hard life lessons in their 30s, and sometimes even as late as their 40s because of their situation. So I mean, age can't define,
and that's why they say like women in like their 40s are more sexual, because they're more confident with who they are.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's like, again, you can't tell me that you at 19 is going to be the same as a woman that's 35. Like, there's no way. No. So
you've had the time to like see what you like and go through experiences and be with
even
different
like how
partners.
they react. Like, even in the comments, they're calling me this name, that name. I'm like, at my age, I'm like, I'm not calling nobody nothing.
No, of course, you're
I'll
not
say that your comment is stupid, but I'm not calling you stupid.
Of course not.
But
because you know the difference. But you at 21, 19, you may have been like that.
Unless you really prove to me that you're stupid, then I will call you stupid. But in general, like, I will not do that. I don't name call or whatever.
No, I don't fight with anybody on the internet. I'm too old for that.
No, I like, again, like I said, I like the debate. I like the conversation.
Yeah, debate, not fighting. Like, you're not attacking anybody. That's different.
But I like having these conversations. But I guess air signs, and specifically Aquarians, I think we are more the intellectual type signs, so we like to learn. I love to learn about other people, other things. Like, that's my thing. So I think that's why I just like the conversations,
the back and forth.
Which
is good. I mean, it's not like you're going back and forth and you're attacking them or arguing. You're at least trying to understand and learn.
And I don't take any of it personally either. I'm like, okay.
Oh no, you can't. There's people, like I said before.
No, there's some people. My friend, the Pisces, one person say one thing about her and.
Oh, really? Wow.
But is that like a Pisces trait, I guess? Like, Pisces are more emotional, though, right?
That's
so
she gets.
It could be interpreted.
She gets offended pretty quickly.
They're emotional, but they're also like very, I'd say, like analytical, and
I think they're analytical when it's not their own personal experience. Like, I can talk to her about my situations, and she's like, "Oh, Nico, no, you're overthinking this." Like, she's very logical and analytical, but when it's her own thing, it's like. And it goes out the window.
And they're extremely...
That sounds like the Pisces we know.
Yeah.
The Pisces that we know.
And they're extremely intuitive. Like, extremely intuitive. It is nuts. Like, it is so crazy. Speaking of which, also, just on a side note, my god sister, who's also Pisces, told me about this, about putting a cup of water under your bed. A cup of just like, I put like filtered water under my bed. Yeah, it's crazy. But the reason why is because it literally amplifies your dreams. So it really, like, and my dreams have been like, I do this every night, and like the days that I don't switch out the water, like, I wake up and I'm like, I remember like the last bit of my dreams, but like,
not like the full thing.
Yeah, but not the full thing. But essentially, like, the water provides clarity. So just a little knack for you guys to try. Try putting a cup of clean water under your bed and tell me how you'll dream.
I'm scared.
I'm going to try because
I'm kind of nervous.
Before last year, so remember I said last year was when I started getting more into this. I've actually been dreaming more because before this, I don't remember any of my dreams. At one point, I think it was probably like last year, November, December, I started really taking notes of my dreams because they were more vivid. So and my dreams, like, I don't know what the hell I dream. Mine are like movies. Like, I can tell you a whole plot. Like,
was
I had this whole
that?
I had this whole like dystopian movie where
honestly,
it's like the black people were stolen from an island and dropped to the main city, and like I don't know what the hell I dream about.
Seriously,
but, like, full on movies.
Was that? Maybe I was telling. I don't know. I think I was telling both of you, but like, I don't know what shifted. I don't know if it's because my schedule has changed in the past 2 months. But, like, the last 2 months, I wake up at 3 with a headache, feeling crazy. But outside of that, like, I remember my dreams, like, and I remember every single part of it. And the thing is, my dreams have been like movies, and I'm not even like watching any TV before going to sleep, so I don't know what's going on. But like, sometimes I wake up and I'm like, oh my god, I should be like turning this into short stories, because it's like, it's so vivid and there's so much drama, and like, I'm waking up and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, sometimes I'm like, I don't even know if it's reality or not, and I'm like, wait a second, like, did that really happen?
Yeah, I hate those.
But like, I'm gonna try that, because like, now I'm even more scared, because I don't even know if it can even get more vivid than how vivid it is now. Like, I'm remembering everything, and I mean, every day is like a different story, but it's like a bunch of different stories in one, and it's like a movie. Like, I feel like I'm an actress in my own movie, like, every night.
It's
crazy,
weird.
Really
like,
weird. I don't know what it is.
I change sexes. Like, there's sometimes where I'm actually a guy in my dream, which is weird.
No, that hasn't happened to me yet.
No, that happens like where I'm not even myself. Like, I'm playing somebody else. Like, that's what I'm saying. It's like really weird. I have like movies.
Different.
But then I wonder if it's because, again, my other reader told me how I've lived a lot of past lives. So she's like,
we all have,
yeah. So she's like, how most people, let's say it's one every, like, there's a 50-year gap or whatever it is. She's like, how mine are very small gaps. So I've lived so many, and she's like, how most of my past lives are technically where I was male or like female. So I was like, oh, that's a little bit awkward.
Wow,
that's interesting.
Yeah, so it's just like, because that's what I'm wondering. I'm like, maybe that's what my dreams are about, because my dreams are all over the place, like all over the place.
Mine are crazy. Like, they're
crazy.
Really vivid.
Yeah, when it comes to like dreams and like spirituality, like, if you don't have a dream journal, get one. Like,
I need one. I don't have one. I need one.
Yeah, and don't, like, because one thing, I was talking to a friend about this earlier today, where it was just like, when you have dreams about like a significant other or like someone from your past, and then you're like, oh my god, like, maybe we're meant to be together, and da-da-da. That's not necessarily the case. To be honest with you, the stories that I've heard is that a lot of people also believe that, like, when someone else is in your dream, it's because like they are thinking about you. And
I've heard that a lot, though. Yeah, like, I feel like a lot of people, that's what they interpret it as.
Yeah, 100%. I definitely believe
so
that.
I dream about one of my little boys. That means they're thinking about me. Sorry, I mean,
grown men, no little boys. Yeah.
No, not the boys. I'm talking about multiple.
Yeah,
but no,
grown men.
I'm just like, I need
not
to
little
stop.
boys.
That's why I need to stop. No S at the end.
Yeah,
but okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, wow, a lot of really, really good information.
Seriously, I can't wait to have you back.
Yeah, like, we need to do this again. I feel like you definitely like introduce a lot of people to a way of life and a way of thinking that I think they have no idea. Like, I have so many things to take away now and like go do my own research, which I'm really excited about that. And I'm gonna try the water under the bed.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I'm totally gonna try that.
My dreams are going crazy. Who knows? Like,
I know. I'm like
writer one day.
Right?
My shows will be on TV.
Exactly.
Like, it's from my dream, and this is a podcast.
Thank you. Yes, exactly.
And
be on the lookout for my book of short stories coming in 2021.
Right.
Yes.
And take note of like when you leave the cup there, because like when I took my cup away after like 3 days and there was like dust in the cup, I was like, okay, this makes sense, because of, like I said, like I was like, what did I just dream? So take note of that, but it's very interesting.
Wait, do you change the water every day or no?
You can if you want. I just didn't, because I'm like, I ain't nobody got time for that.
Yeah.
But like, I'm like, there's just a cup of water under the bed. My cat drank the damn water.
I know. You know what? My cat would probably do the same. What the hell? Like a damn ass destructive cat of mine.
I'm like, just leave the damn water alone.
Your cat is an odd one. But she's very cute.
Is a crackhead.
She's very, very cute, but she's wild. Like, I did not see that coming.
So for people like me that technically I don't have underneath my bed.
Okay.
Putting it like underneath my little side table.
Yeah, I think that'd be fine.
Like, it's close enough to you.
Yeah, but at least it's as long as it's close enough.
Just want to clarify, because I want my dreams to be vivid as
right.
Yeah.
Same. We need to write this short story book.
Right. Yeah. Next podcast, talk about our dreams.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Seriously, a dream one. Yeah, actually, that'd be really good.
what I dreamed last night.
I know.
Seriously.
So, hey guys, so last night's dream.
Like sometimes I wake up with scratches, and like when I have like really
and
intense
bruises. I'm like, what the hell
when
did
I have
do
really
last
intense
night?
dreams, like I wake up with scratches all over my hands and like
Wow.
my arms and stuff, and it's weird because I remember like how intense it was, but then the fact that I actually have like I think I even have like some scars, which I've always thought was really weird, and I've always wanted that interpreted, but I didn't. Never really looked into it, but
intense.
yeah. So I need to get this dream journal because I need to be
No,
making
seriously.
notes about all these
Right?
like crazy things that are happening
And then
to me.
sometimes I Google the symbols too, like, okay, I one time dreamt, see again, my dreams are so weird. I one time dreamt that there was like this spider that was trying to attack me and my dog, like a huge one. And it ended up being that it was actually a woman who can shift into again, my dreams are so freaking...
I feel like I'm always running for my life in my dreams. Like, I don't know why. There's always some like life-changing
But I heard that's
thing
because you're
happening.
running away from like your feelings and what you want to do.
I'm a Sagittarius, so probably.
Running away from the truth. There.
No, I'm like always like and then like the thing is like the environment changes. Like I could be like at a concert, and then the environment just like switches, and then now I'm like at a funeral with a bunch of my like friends and family members, and like I'm the person that's dead. It's just crazy. Like it just goes from like it like just drops into like different. I don't know. It's crazy. I need to
start writing this
I
down.
need to really get the dreams.
But it's been so much fun having you here.
Yes, thank you.
I'm so excited for our first guest.
Yes, our first guest, guys. Thank you. This has been so amazing.
It has.
So much fun.
Thank you for having
so
me.
much information, so much knowledge, like amazing.
Yeah, it's
Thank
been
you.
so different
Thank
than
you.
our regular episodes, so I'm excited that you're here. Again, you broke our guest virginity, so
Yes!
that's always exciting.
Our guest cherry.
Pop that cherry.
Yes, exactly.
But if you want to see more of you, where can they find
Yes.
you at?
You can follow me.
Don't find
You don't have to give them. You don't
You
have
can
to.
follow me on Twitter.
Yes.
It's the 13 _. You can follow me there.
Perfect.
And I do some personal readings. It just depends. You'll see me tweet and be like, I can do some readings, and you can just slide into my DMs, and I can do a free reading for you. No dollars required. Nothing. Do it over FaceTime or record it.
Get that reading. It was like life changing for me. Amazing. So good.
Yeah.
I know, now I'm excited. I'm going to have to follow you myself.
Get that reading. And I mean, it's a free, you can't go wrong. She's offering a free reading.
The hell? Free?
Yeah.
Take advantage of this free
Y'all
reading,
go to McDonald's
guys.
for the free burgers. Might as well
Right? You go for the free coffee. Like, you go a lot of places for some free shit. So, this is like mental stimulation. Like, you need to know about what's going on in your life, love life, like, channel, all that. Just get at her. Like, you got nothing better to do. It's COVID.
I know, really and truly. That's why you're here listening to us right now.
Thank you. Exactly.
But you can always find us at our regular Instagrams as well as our Youngish and one, which is at Youngish and _ that's on Instagram. Me personally, I'm at KERR __.
I'm at _XII_IV and on Twitter, Bright Lip Love, BRITELIPLOVE.
Yes, so thank you guys for another episode.
Thank you
of
so
Youngish
much,
and.
guys.
Thank you guys. Bye.
Have a good night. Bye.